Let me see what they talking about on here. I already know. I probably know most of this shit already. Not probably, but I do. I know most of this shit already, man.
FlexJobs is the #1 job site to find remote work from home and flexible schedule job opportunities since 2007. So, how does FlexJobs work? Well, FlexJobs is a subscription service for job seekers. It features flexible and remote jobs. We have an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau.
God, and they company commercials. Let me get to the video first. The gay ass commercial.
Project Looking Glass, a rumored experiment buried beneath classified halls, said to bend the rules of time. To the outside world, it was science fiction, but to those who worked in the shadows, it was the key to everything. A device that didn't just predict the future, it showed it. Every possibility, every choice, every outcome. But there's a pattern to every story about the looking glass. No one walks away unchanged. Some say the visions began to bleed together, time folding in on itself, showing futures that contradicted one another. Others claimed that operators weren't alone in the reflections, that when they stared into tomorrow, something ancient stared back. They thought they could fix what was coming, that they could rewrite disasters before they ever happened. But what if every attempt to correct a timeline only fractured it further? What if mankind's desperate reach for control was guided not by curiosity, but by whispering voices that have been manipulating human destiny since the dawn of history? In the book of Enoch, they were called the Watchers, divine beings who defied heaven, teaching forbidden knowledge to mankind. Some believe those same spirits still walk among us, hiding behind human ambition and scientific progress, steering our hands toward the same sin of pride that first broke the world. Maybe Project Looking Glass wasn't just a scientific experiment. Maybe it was an invitation, and those who answered are still paying the price. I'm J-Rod, and this is Hollow Light, where the veil is thin, the stories begin. What does the future hold? Project Looking Glass didn't begin with science fiction. It began with reverse engineering. According to multiple alleged insiders, the device was developed out of recovered technology, something not of this world. The earliest whispers trace back to Area S4, a facility said to just sit south of the infamous Groom Lake test site, better known as Area 51. There, in the late 1980s and early 90s, engineers supposedly experimented with a piece of technology nicknamed the Yellow Cube. It was said to be a translucent device that projected visions, not random images, but events, moments in time that hadn't occurred yet, or had already changed. Those who looked inside claimed they saw probable futures, and that by making small adjustments to the present, the images would shift. One insider described it as a mirror that reflects what could be and what should never be. By the early 2000s, the term Project Looking Glass had surfaced, a codename for a program allegedly meant to stabilize these shifting probabilities. Government physicists supposedly used a combination of electromagnetic resonance and liquid mercury plasma fields to amplify the effect, forming what they called temporal viewing aperture. In simpler words, a window into time. Then came the problem. Around 2010 to 2012, those using the device reportedly began seeing the same outcome, a fixed event in all possible timelines, a convergence point. Some described it as the end of linear time itself. Others called it the singularity. Insiders claim that after 2012, the looking glass stopped showing divergence entirely. Every possible timeline merged into one outcome. And that outcome, they said, terrified them. Publicly, none of this was ever verified.
Ooh, let me
The
see this.
rumors
Hold
persisted.
on. Let me see this interview. I need to watch this interview.
What's that?
I just built a budgeting app in Base 44.
Guys, Nina just built an app.
Impossible. You can't code.
I need to watch this interview.
It can now.
Nice. So you're saying we can all
You gotta watch the interview. Come on, man. It ain't gonna be damn. It's still early for a lot of people too. That's the thing about the daytime. One time.
Mr. President, welcome to the Axios show.
Thank you.
We wanted to make this more of a conversation than a typical interview where we're just going to hop around from topics to topic. And we wanted to do, Axios likes to do one big thing.
Okay.
And so the one big thing we want to talk about is power and how you think about it and how you wield it. And so a decade ago, you first became president and you've had loads of experience since then. In that span of time, what is the one big thing you've learned about wielding power?
Well, I think you have to do it judiciously. I think that experience is good. I always say that potential is far more important. In other words, having ability is far more important than experience, but having both is very good. And I learned a lot during the first administration, and I was told just the other day, because, we had a tremendous G7 and very dominant G7. We got what I wanted. And somebody said the other day that this is a far more powerful administration or term than the first one. And we had a good first term. We had the best economy. We had a lot of good things happening. We rebuilt the military. We did a good job. But I feel it's a more powerful term than the first one. Now, that comes with experience. It also comes by having somebody precede you who was a disaster. The man was a disaster. And so when you compare to somebody like that, you look maybe better than you are. That's possible. But I feel that it's a very powerful administration right now.
But that's because you've applied lessons. You've done some things differently. What are some of those things you did differently or better than you did before?
Well, it's a terrible answer, actually, but I don't think about it. I just do what I have to do. I want to get something done. I don't have to say, I'm going to do it a little bit differently this time. I probably say that down deep, but I don't think about gee, what can I do differently? I just want to get the job done. And I've always gotten the job done. That's how I got elected the first time, and that's how I got elected the second time. But the second Trump administration is a more powerful, and it feels more to me. I may be wrong. You would know maybe better than I would, because I don't give it a lot of thought. But I think it's a more powerful administration, and I think the first one was really good. I rebuilt the military in the first one. I did Space Force. I did so many things. We had the best economy. We had a great economy. We had the best job numbers. We had everything. First administration was good. We got hit by COVID. That's not my fault. But at the end, but we had a great administration. But this one is, I think, better.
You mentioned the G7. You saw a number of world leaders. You walked in and you said, I'm the boss.
Yeah.
How many of them believe that?
All of them. But I was just being funny.
Uh-huh.
What happened is they were all sitting, and then I walked into the room, and it was just sort of funny because it was a very long table, but there's only 7 of them. The table is meant for 30 people, so the whole end of the table looked like almost a perfect podium type setup, right? I saw them all, and they're all well-known figures, right? The heads of countries. We had a couple of others in there too, as you know. Some, like, as an example, Modi of India, great guy. A lot of people came. They're allowed to come if they want and sit. But I walked in there, these leaders, and I just looked at them. I said, "I'm the boss, and you remember." And you know that was done as a joke. This thing got carried all over the world. I can't believe it. I was just being cute, funny. I wasn't trying to be the boss.
You have experience, obviously, with world leaders from your 2 terms. What's your definition of a great leader? How do you define great?
Well, you have so many different types of leaders. Yesterday, as an example, I'll mention the name again because pretty great. You know, all my life I've watched India. They just kept changing. Somebody would be there for 6 months and then a year. And then all of a sudden, Prime Minister Modi ends up there. He's been there for more than 12 years, very solid. And he does it through, like, there's a great calmness, and yet he's not a calm person. He's a very tough guy. I know him very well. And you have such different leaders. I watched Brazil, the leader who I know a little bit. He's a very volatile person. You know,
You're not a fan of Lula, if I'm not mistaken.
not a fan or not a fan. I don't think about him, to be honest with you. I don't really think about him. This President Xi of China, he's a very smart man. You don't get to those levels where you're running a country, even if it was a small country. You have something special. Now, in some cases, it doesn't work out. But you need something special. It's not an easy thing to do.
What is it about Xi that you find most admirable?
So we have a very good relationship. And you probably heard me say yesterday, I said, I want to thank him because he didn't get involved with the whole thing with Iran. He could have gotten involved. He could have sent a nice oil ship surrounded by 12 destroyers and see if he could blast his way through the blockade, which was an unbelievable military. I think it's going to go down as one of the great military maneuvers. It was every bit as important as all the bombing we did. It really, they were dying. They have no money, no nothing for months. But President Xi, I asked him, I said, I'd really appreciate you not getting involved. And he was great. He didn't get involved. And I think if somebody else would have said that, I don't think somebody else would have even asked him that. But I get along with him well. He's a strong man. He's no games. He won't sit down and say, "Oh, what a beautiful day. This is a wonderful day, Mark. Look how beautiful. Look at the sunshine." There's none of that stuff. It's like all business, which I like. I think it's great.
Is there something about the Chinese system that you think advantages him and his country that you wish you had here?
Well, it's actually supposed to be a disadvantage. We have the entrepreneurship and all the... Supposed to be a disadvantage. We have the entrepreneurship and all the things you read about, but they're there just about as quick as we are. You go to something's hot, and we get there, and the Chinese are standing there before us. Or we beat them by a little bit, but I'll tell you, we're beating them on AI. We have the strongest military in the world. We have the most powerful military in the world. He admitted to me, you're the most powerful. I did a great job. I rebuilt our military in the first term and did it well. Look, take a look at Venezuela. 48 minutes, the whole thing was over. 48 minutes. And by the way, now we have a great relationship, and we paid for that war with Venezuela many times. We're taking out millions of barrels of oil, and we're making them more money than they've ever made before. All the big oil companies are moving in. It's amazing. There's no place with that kind of oil. I guess us, maybe we have the most. And they're probably second or third.
Obviously, if I ask you who are the 2 greatest or leaders you like the most on the world stage, I'd assume one of them is Xi.
Yeah, I think in terms of leadership, I think that's true.
Who's the other? When you think of power and leverage and the ability to execute on that?
Well, I think Modi is very good, yeah. They've had some very good numbers announced. He stays out of wars, which is smart.
And last one, artificial intelligence.
Excuse me just a second. If it weren't for Donald Trump, and Bibi Netanyahu worked well with me, but he will tell you, we're the ones with the guns, we're the ones with the whole deal, we're the ones with the B-2 bombers, etc. If it weren't for Donald Trump, Israel would have been eviscerated.
Your relationship with Netanyahu
It's good, but we have to keep him a little bit sane.
Are you going to be able to control Israel from attacking Lebanon?
Yeah, I will be. They have a lot of respect for me, and they do as I say. Remember this: if I don't terminate the JCPOA, road to remember that was a road to a nuclear weapon legally. It says right there. And Obama thought he could pay them off. He gave him billions and billions of dollars, 1.7 billion in cash. It was a well-known story, but it didn't work. You can't bribe your way out of it. You can't pay off your way. But if I didn't do that, and if I didn't attack their nuclear supply 10 months ago with the B-2 bombers, Israel would not exist today.
So artificial intelligence. Yeah, not a very artful transition, but do you see artificial intelligence as a weapon?
Well, improperly used, it could be. Improperly used, I will tell you one thing. It's so big. Yeah. It is big, like nobody's. Bigger than the internet. It's bigger than any. I've seen the different things come along. It's an age where people like you, if we're nice smart people like we are, we watch and we see what's happening. This AI is incredible. Now, it's unbelievable for good. You're going to have medical cures coming up 25 years early because of it. You're going to have other things happening, but you have to watch. We have a situation with Anthropic, and we didn't like what they were doing. And so far, I think they behaved very responsibly to our requests.
Do you view Anthropic and, to a degree, its CEO, Dario Amodei, as a threat to national security?
Well, not now, but a week ago, maybe. I was with him yesterday. He made a speech. I made a little speech. We were in the room, on the G7, and seems like a nice guy, smart guy. But he responded to us very quickly. Because, it's tremendous liability. People get put in prison immediately for that. You can't play games with that. And he responded very responsibly, I thought. So far, I think he will.
Do you have the power and the inclination to shut them down or possibly take them?
Well, I don't want to do that because I'm somebody that, we're beating China by a lot. When I was with President Xi, we talked about it. We're beating China by a lot. Everyone thought that we didn't have the electricity. I came up with an idea. I thought of it myself. I let them build their own electric plants when they're building their factories. That way they don't have to use an old grid. And they actually sell back into the grid at a cheap price, excess electricity. They need massive amounts. It's amazing. They need double the amount of electricity that this country produces for everything to run it. So I had the idea. I said, I'm going to let them. We don't have that kind of electricity. Really, nobody does. And they're building their plants, and they're building the most incredible electric producing factories you've ever seen. So we're leading China by a lot. It's going to be for the good, and we're watching for the bad. I think the good, let me put it a different way, the good far outweighs the bad. We are going to find the bad, and we're going to stop it.
You have the power to use the Defense Production
I
Act.
have the power to use a lot of things, yeah.
Would you consider using the Defense Production Act to possibly regulate or control AI or AI?
I would, but I'm not sure I have to do that. I think so far it's been very responsible. Actually, it was a competitor and a part owner that turned Anthropic in. They didn't like what they were doing. They were very concerned. Think of it, it's part owner. And it worked out very well, I think.
And France at the G7 had talked about having international group comes together. They want the United States to share more on AI.
Well, the problem we have is that we are leading everybody by a lot.
Right, it's power share, power
right, yeah,
loss.
but here's the problem. In Europe, I heard, maybe it's wrong, but we have many of the top, almost all. Between us and China, we have almost all. The first European company that's in AI is number 187. So that's not too good. Europe has to be very careful. They're losing their way. They're losing the way entrepreneurially. And I mean, the big thing is energy-wise. Look, the UK is sitting on the greatest oil find, one of them in the world, the North Sea, the Great North Sea. They have one of the greatest oil, but they're not using it because of the environment. And if they did use it, their energy prices would be cut by 75%. They don't use it. And yet, they buy their energy from Norway, which uses the North Sea. And Norway's got $3 trillion sitting in the bank. So, it's crazy. I have to go. I'm so late. I did this out of respect for you, but I have to go. Do you want to just close it up?
Oh, yeah, let's close it up. Where are you as you wind down your presidency? You've got 2 more years.
I don't go to wind down. I think we got a lot of time. We have every 2.5+ years.
Every presidency has a life cycle. Yeah. And as a president comes to his second term, to his last midterm, his party usually loses control of the House. His poll numbers usually start to decline. And he starts to weaken. And that's happening to you.
No, it's not. Fake polls. I have great poll numbers.
How do you maintain?
I would beat any candidate they have by 25 points.
How do you maintain?
I have great poll numbers.
How do you maintain your power going forward? You have the Senate.
I don't think about it. No, I don't think about it. All I do is do my job. I have more than 2.5 years. I have a lot of time. But all I do is think about doing my job. And we have other things, very big things that I want to do in the next 2.5 years. Some very impactful things. Things are happening that are good, and I'm going to straighten them out. And some things are happening that should be better, and I'm going to make them better. This is a great presidency.
Are you going to miss being in this White House?
Well, it's so early. I don't like to talk about it because 2.5 years is a pretty long time. In all fairness, I love the building. I'm fixing the building. I do that my little side hobby. You see the granite, which was they had stones. It's broken. The marble's broken. The tile they have is garbage from a low-class place that sells garbage. This is the White House. You saw the white floor. You saw the beautiful granite. I fix it. I pay for it myself. I don't want money. And the White House will soon be in better shape than it was. And most importantly, when it was built, I'm building what will be one of the greatest ballrooms and safety nets anywhere in the world. It's all bulletproof glass. It's all drone-proof roofs. It's actually a drone port on the top of the roof with views of everything's very high up.
And you'll be able to get that for the Senate. I know the Senate.
Well, I don't need it for the Senate. I'm paying for myself. I don't know what they're talking about giving $1 billion. I don't need money from the Senate. I'm putting up my own money and the money of very great patriots. Apple, Microsoft, all. We don't need money. We have a judge that said he'd rather have it be put up by the government. Why? We're giving a gift of a tremendous military and also a very important ballroom for safety. You see how many, with all the whack jobs, all these crazy people, the bulletproof glass is just thick, nothing gets through it. The drones
what up?
off the roof. We're actually putting a drone port up. That's very important. But we have a judge that probably doesn't like Donald Trump.
Yeah, it's
Fortunately,
crazy,
we have
bro.
appellate judges that, I've done okay with the appellate judges, but I have not done so well with some of these judges that probably have Trump derangement syndrome. But I will say, just in finishing, we've taken Washington, D.C. from a death trap to one of the safest cities in America. We took crime down 94% in a period of a year. This place, when I got here, was a death trap. And now it's one of the safest cities in America.
It is what it is.
New
Shit
grass,
gotta,
covered with all the graffiti. 48 fountains and monuments have been, 50 years they weren't touched.
do what it do.
I think maybe the greatest of all will be what's called the triumphal arch. Yeah,
Mr. President, I appreciate your time. I know you've been rushed late.
Yeah, you gotta do what it do. It's about time for this shit to end. That's what's going on. It's about time for this shit to end. Where you trying to go?
And
Where you going?
Never open a meeting with, how's work? Hope everyone's doing well.
Where you about to head to?
What are we gonna say? They're saying
Somebody put the comments. Somebody put the comments here.
yes. I can hear
Somebody
you.
put the comments. Somebody put the comments. Who gave them dominion? How they have right? I just said they have dominion over the earth. So when we can stop fighting amongst each other, stop being wicked to each other, then we can pay attention to the hidden hand. That's covert in the war against us when we start fighting with each other. But that's they gain dominion over us because if you fight against each other, you acting wicked with each other. The enemy can come right in there because we don't focus on them, you focus on each other.
That's right.
That ain't bad, man.
Oh no, I was talking to read this comment. Excuse me, Black man, you saying
bad
learn something
spot
every
to
day.
go.
Some people didn't.
That right.
That ain't bad at all.
And now they're selling them in the Walmarts. People are saying
Now,
they
that's
close
a
it,
good spot to
they sell it
go.
outside, but now they're selling. It's free. It's free. Yeah. Okay, son, maybe one thing you can do before we move forward. Arbitrate with me on Friday Family to talk about how to survive on the land and how to survive through an emergency broadcast system. So stay tuned. Yes, sir, Chief.
Yeah, I'm just excited because the truth is being revealed. Look, the man's been out for a while. It's nothing.
Yes.
We found out that the so-called celebrities,
That's pretty good.
so-called guys upon his eye, all they do is just retire the character, and they'll take that celebrity and put them inside the man bed and make them every year younger. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys something.
So, I was trying to see if I could bring that one up, but go ahead, Chief. What you saying?
The man bed. I said the man bed. We recently found out that Meek Mills is actually Martin Luther King, younger version. Put inside the bed beds, and if you look at Meek Mills, look at his lips, look at his face, look like a young Martin Luther King.
Oh my God.
We recently found out that Kevin Gates is Muhammad Ali's new character. If you look at the Kevin Gates charisma, the way he talks, and he often talks about Muhammad Ali a lot, just like Meek Mills talks about Martin Luther King and represent. They try to tell us. Now, this old singer name, I think Eric Robinson was a singer back, and then.
Let me pause it real fast. Yeah. And Egypt. But yeah, Morocco kind of got Egypt. I seen some shit in Egypt. They were talking about like $80, $90 in Egypt. Like $80, $90 in Egypt. You can go to Asia. Asia about the same. 120, 100, 200. But that beat the that 60 beat everything, boy. 60. That ain't bad. 60 ain't bad, boy. 60 ain't bad. How much the plane ticket though? Now that plane ticket gonna be by 1,500, 2,000. Well, that's now I don't think about for one way probably like 900 probably. But there and back that been down to 2,000. But one way probably like 900. Yeah, it's a lot of places in the world cheap. It's just the plane ticket, bro. It's just the trip getting there.
I think the late 70s and 80s, singing with Aretha Franklin. Now, Aretha Franklin, because she was living, she would be closer in her late 70s and 80s. She was living, right? Mm-hmm. But this guy singing is right about the same age named Eric Robinson. But pull up that video, and I want you guys to tell me who does Eric Robinson look like right now.
Okay, I'm hoping this will let me show it on here.
Tell me who Eric Robinson looks like right now. That's a celebrity right now. Tell me who he looks like, guys. Guys are ready to be blown away.
Let's see if I can bring it.
You'll see back at an eye.
You got that eye? Okay, I'm going to my email. I got to download this. Hopefully they'll let me show it right here.
They play many different characters.
I don't know if y'all can see that. No, y'all can't see it. This is Eric Robinson. Wait. I can't show it. I gotta be careful showing music. Hold on. Can y'all hear that? This is Eric Robinson. You can't. I don't want to show that music. They'll block me. Where's it, Rob?
You turn down the play.
Hold on, T. I'm trying to bring something up, but I don't see it.
Turn it about it.
Hold on, family.
Right now, this person should be in his late 70s or 80s right now.
They say you also look like. Go ahead.
Who else?
Curtis Blow. But y'all, they say you look like Curtis Blow.
You gotta let shit go, bro. It ain't really about living in here. You gotta stop telling yourself that too. You gotta get used to letting shit go. That just be it, bro. Like you living in hell because you think you living in hell. Because you probably ain't attaining certain things, but you gotta let that shit go, bro. I tell this to a lot of people, bro. People build a life based off of what the world told them how to live. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. You see what you just said? The world, who told you that? Who told you that? What's living good? You feel what I'm saying? Like, who told you that? You know what I mean? Like, what's living good? That's all illusion. Like, that's all what they teach you online and shit like that. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's an illusion, bro. You gotta bring out that illusion, dog. Living good is just being able to just do the minimum every day. Like, you gotta know how to jump timelines, bro. Switch timelines. People get stuck in one timeline. Cause that's people. Everybody want to be comfortable. No, you supposed to every day. You supposed to challenge yourself. Do something different. Put your mind in different spaces. So then nothing has control over you. It's kind of like, well, I can go do this. If this ain't working, I'm going to do this. If this ain't working, I'm going to do this. Or when I get, this ain't working. This ain't for me, I'm going over here. Oh, I'm tired of this. I'm just going to jump over here. I'm tired of this. I'm just going to jump over here. People get too comfortable in one area. You know what I'm saying? People get too comfortable in one area. So that shit be crazy, man.
Curtis Blow is also playing another character. I can't think of who it was.
That's Jenny Fox. Look at that.
Is it Kanye?
Almost look like Kevin Campbell in a way too.
Yeah.
Like Kevin Campbell. You see that face? And Jenny Fox just don't have the same, just like Aaron Rodgers. Just like Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman, old character, Jimi Hendrix. Okay, we know that the world is just a stage and a Truman Show, and when we can wake up from that delusion, get this
that is that nigga too,
and turn Earth back to heaven. Y'all, you can remember donations. I bust this wide open for you guys. So let you guys. This is not a clone. It's not a clone. He's not a clone, stuff, guys. They just put us out the mad bands and make him younger. Okay, then.
Kanye West is also playing Curtis Blow, is what I've heard. If you look at some old pictures of Kanye, some younger pictures of Kanye West, looks just like Curtis Blow.
What that's what you mean?
If your workflow looks like 12 open tabs and 3 subscriptions,
stop.
This is Nevada, because I can generate cinematic video, high fashion.
But I don't celebrities. They play several different characters. Like Kobe Bryant, new character is Myles Garrett, the football player who had a saying the job is not done. He got the number 24. And then so-called Myles Garrett gets traded to the LA Rams. He's back in California. And the same dog that Kobe Bryant had right before he so-called transitioned to plane crash is the same dog that Myles Garrett had. How can you make this shit up, man? Can't make it up, man.
And a lot of these big-time YouTube, those with millions of views and stuff.
These social media platforms and just demanding respect from everybody. Y'all need to be able to really study people and really look at people because they always send a savior to people. Instead of savior to people, so you guys gotta really pay attention to people, man. Because I'm telling you guys follow Chip Jones, man. People follow Chip Jones, and he made them drink that Kool-Aid. Those who didn't want to drink the Kool-Aid, they mowed them down with machine guns. Guys, y'all get careful. World's a state.
World's a state. Hold on, my family's calling me. Hold on, T. I'll let you keep cooking while I'm gonna answer the phone.
Also, I'm gonna have a clip with Kayla pull up to show you guys Clyde Davis walking with Joan Rivers' new character. Joan Rivers' new character. Joan Rivers is not dead. They don't, and you guys should know this already. If they show Clyde Davis so-called bad, there's some numerology behind it. And they don't die. They don't push that. Let's say a celebrity so-called transition in real life. They're not gonna tell us that. They're gonna keep that celebrity going on. They're gonna put a new person up there. They're gonna put a mask on that person to look like that person. Because this is what they said about Michael Jackson. But the real Michael Jackson is alive. And they said they put a person up there who has white gloves on and had the mask on with hair because the real Michael Jackson was alive years ago. So they gave us a whole new character. See, the old Michael Jackson doesn't have that soulful voice like the young Michael Jackson did. So this, y'all, man, this all of these I'm saying this in the relevancy why I'm saying this, guys, is to let you know what type of world we in. That ain't no heaven or hell you're going to. And how you gonna burn up in fire? You don't even have a body to burn up in. How you gonna burn up with this body right here goes back to the earth? If you got that light, celestial body that's great to fire. It don't need food, water, or air to sustain itself, and they can't burn up in fire because it's made of a source that's great to fire. So how you burn up in fire? What you do is you get set back down here. So this is about how you know that that's true. It's because of deja vu. Let us know that we've been here before. And I've seen who I was before this life. So we have control. Ain't no savior coming to save you for nothing. You have to save yourself. So if you're doing something wicked, low down, kind of cause chaos in people's lives, all you're doing is adding to your karmic debt. So if you go on the streets and you see people eating out of garbage cans, screaming out like these wild beasts, just have a hard life, just ask yourself, that's the karmic debt. And what did they do in the life before this one right here? And you do not get away with anything. If you are a fool to think that you can get away with doing evil on this earth, you don't get away with nothing. Ain't no hell you're going to. I don't care how religious you think you are, or how spiritual you think you are. You can say, I'm a god, I'm this, you're not a god, like yourself, man. You know, say all that crap, and you can be doing lower wicked stuff. The wickedness that you do, the chaos that's going to cause people like, shows you who you are. It shows you who you are. It's just a matter of time if your life is unraveled.
What matters is what you're doing. How do we live our life when nobody's watching? That's what matters. When the lights are out, it's dark, nobody's watching. What are you doing? What am I doing? That's what matters. It matters what you're doing in public too, but the real measure of a man or a woman is how you live when nobody's watching. Because somebody's always watching for real. And I yield to you, G.
Man, your own body is a recording, the watching mechanism. You can't have it yourself. Because you're not this body. This body is a recording mechanism. So all the BS you did, your eyes and your ears are recording mechanisms for the creation that created you. When you do things, and you think, even in the dark, it's recorded because the brain is internalizing what you think. It's recording, what you think. So now this beast is trying to tap into our brains and mindset because the star seeds have been sent down here. They're trying to tap into our thought process right now. This is why they're trying to allow us and birth through. You have the birth control centers and birth control and the abortion clinics and the melody areas trying to stop these so-called making the gods being reincarnated back on earth to be the same salvations that we are right now today. So we are at war, and I just want to home in on there to remind people that ain't no hell you're going to, that this earth is it. And they dress this thing up through the form of entertainment to entertain and instruct your mind from being able to see that this world is hell.
Come on, T.
The people giving you the entertainment are the demigods and the half-breeds of the reptilian. They were created. Come on, man.
And my son, Dexter, he's a musician like you, and he's also an economist. He said, even look at the word entertain. They enter your body to control you. Yeah. So, Chief,
I can play my own music. I produce and do music as well, and it's a music. And people don't realize that what is a heavenly instrument? A harp. It's a heavenly instrument, an ancient instrument. And what they did with the baby grand, they took a harp and laid a harp down inside the piano. So you play the piano with the baby grand, you actually play a harp. And a lot of people don't know that.
They don't. Well, Chief,
The piano is the mother of all instruments. Go ahead.
say it again. I'm sorry if someone was playing in the background. Go ahead. I was going to say.
Is the mother of... Go ahead, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, after you talk about the piano, I was going to ask you for your final words and thoughts. My family is calling me for dinner, and I don't know what else they're calling me for. But what were you saying about the piano? Then I will ask you what's your summary, the final words you want to leave us, words of wisdom on your birthday.
Oh, listen, guys, I'm so excited. I appreciate you, Ken. Love you. I appreciate you. Being a righteous teacher. You are also a big mama. You're also a woman that the world deserves to hear. And nobody should be taking credit from you because you've been on these platforms for 10 years, giving yourself, being unselfish, teaching. Nobody would have known about the foreign currencies, gold and silver, and these commodities to be where we are now. I heard from you, and I made a move based on what you were saying. So I was going to say for me, I appreciate you. I love you for that. And you're a big mama. You're also a big mama.
Thank you.
All right, that's enough of that.
You have it since day one. You make sure I'm taking care of. I don't even have to ask.
That's enough of that. Let me get off it too. Let me get off Kate, man. Let me close Kate down. Ain't nothing popping on here. I'm off this shit. I'm doing off this shit. Ain't nothing popping on this. Let me exit out there. Let me see. And when I think about the good times, military command operations, autonomous weapon targeting, and domestic mass surveillance system. Third possesses some of the world's most advanced generative AI and large language models, specifically their Claude Fable and Claude Mental model. What does that even mean? Autonomous weapon system. Religion sought to integrate Android AI into drone fleets and targeting systems. Target identification. Processing real-time battlefield video footage to automatically identify enemy targets. Processing real-time battlefield video footage to automatically identify enemy targets. Autonomous decision making, allowing unmanned vehicles on drones to make split-second tactical decisions without human intervention. movie is that? Like, hold on. Let me see. Listen, yeah.
Erica Albright's a bitch. Do you think that's because her family changed their name from Albrecht? Or do you think it's because all BU girls are bitches? For the record, she may look like a 34C, but she's getting all kinds of help from our friends at Victoria's Secret. She's a 34B, as in barely anything there. False advertising. The truth is, she has a nice face. I need to do something to take my mind off her. Easy enough, except I need an idea. I'm a little intoxicated, I'm not gonna lie. So what if it's not even 10 p.m. and it's a Tuesday night? Really? The Kirkland Facebook is open on my desktop, and some of these people have pretty horrendous Facebook pics. Oh no! Billy Olson's sitting here and had the idea of putting some of the pictures next to pictures of farm animals and have people vote on who's hotter. Good call, Mr. Olson. It's on. I'm not going to do the farm animals, but I like the idea of comparing two people together. It gives the whole thing a very Turing feel, since people's ratings of the pictures will be more implicit than, say, choosing a number to represent each person's hotness like they do on hotornot.com. The first thing we're going to need is a lot of pictures. Unfortunately, Harvard doesn't keep a public centralized Facebook, so I'm going to have to get all the images from the individual houses that people are in. Let the hacking begin. First up is Kirkland. They keep everything open and allow indexes in their Apache configuration, so a little wget magic is all that's necessary to download the entire Kirkland Facebook. Kid stuff. Next is Elliot. They're also open, but with no indexes on Apache. I can run an empty search and it returns all the images in the database in a single page. And I can save the page and Mozilla will save all the images for me. Excellent. Moving right along.
Excuse me, everybody. You are at one of the oldest, one of the most exclusive clubs, not just at Harvard, but in the world. I want to welcome you all to Phoenix Club's first party of the fall semester.
Has some security. They require a username password combo, and I'm going to go ahead and say they don't have access to the main FAS user database, so they have no way of detecting an intrusion. Adams has no security, but limits the number of results to 20 a page. All I need to do is break out the same script I used on Lowell, and we're set. Quincy has no online Facebook. What a sham. Nothing I can do about that. Dunster is intense. Not only is there no public directory, but there's no directory at all. You have to do searches, and if your search returns more than 20 matches, nothing gets returned. And once you do get results, they don't link directly to the images. They link to a PHP that redirects or something. Weird. This may be difficult. I'll come back later.
Hey, Sharpie son. What?
Bright white, beautiful fish.
Leverett is a little better. They still make you search, but you can do an empty search and get links to pages with every student's picture. It's slightly obnoxious that they only let you view one picture at a time, and there's no way I'm going to go to 500 pages to download pics one at a time, so it's definitely necessary to break out Emacs and modify that Perl script.
Oh, I forgot what movie that was.